I would say all of my career has been in male-dominated industries. Coming in representing someone who's your ex-husband and breaking through all of these biases that exist just in the first handshake. So I started at Merrill Lynch as a financial consultant for about a decade. Then I had my own wealth management company. Then I moved into managing Dwayne and built out the Garcia companies, which was a management company. That turned into the Garcia companies, the holding company. And within that, I am the chairwoman, and I own numerous companies, 7 Bucks Productions, 7 Bucks Marketing, Terramana, Athleticon, the XFL now. So I sit as a chair or a CEO on a number of these companies. I'm also a producer. I actively produce. I have movies at Disney, at Warner Brothers, at Sony. So I keep very, very busy. Oh, and I'm also a professional bodybuilder. I think anyone who has done sports will tell you the discipline, the teamwork, the failing that's involved. You condition your mind to continuously improve and look for improvements. I ran track. I was a long jumper. I ran the 400. I was also a high jumper. And then in college, I switched over to crew, learning to really understand everyone else's nuances and strengths. That translates over completely to the business world. I saw my first female bodybuilder at the age of 13, and I had never seen a female physique who could look like this. People don't understand that. They think, you go in and you're lifting weights for an hour, but bodybuilding is an hour to 2 hours of lifting weights and 22 hours of discipline. So you have to be accountable for every aspect of your life. So not only do I love lifting weights and changing the way my body looks, but it also forced me to be smarter because I never stopped working while I competed. Every year I competed, there would be an explosive growth in the enterprise the following 12 to 18 months. I had just competed in 2019 in September, and 2020, we have bought the XFL, we launched Terramana, I closed an NBC deal. It was huge. So some people go on sabbatical, I go into contest prep. And the mind that comes out of that is so much more refined. So I love it. It's a huge representation of who I am.
Now you run 7 Bucks Productions, you manage all of this talent. What does audience first mean?
I credit Vince McMahon for this all the time, but if you have a commitment to greatness, to creating enterprise, you automatically are committed to the audience, to the consumer. You never want to get disconnected from the world or the audience.
Well, first of all, if I was 15 and someone had said to me, would you like to own a major sports league? I would have said yes. But I actually loved the second iteration of the XFL when Vince McMahon brought it out. I was really, really rooting for the organization that just appealed to me as a sports lover. I thought the XFL did a great, great job. If it wasn't for COVID, the league would have continued, but it went into bankruptcy, and that was an incredible opportunity. And so, I did about 2 weeks worth of pre-work. Then I called DJ, I called Dwayne up and said, hey, we have an incredible opportunity. Do you want to do this? It's a bit crazy. And he said, yes. He said, let's do it. So if you look at sports or if you're looking at football, you can see what the demographics are for women, right? They fall somewhere maybe 30, 35%. And women have an interesting way of going into football. There are the women who grew up with their fathers or male figures really being into football and sort of indoctrinated them. There are women who also maybe their significant others. And there's a smaller group of women who find football themselves and love it for themselves. Now, that's not good enough. So there's a tremendous amount of storytelling that I believe appeals to a female viewer, in addition to the great action that no one has ever focused on. Well, that's a focus for us. Being the first female owner of a major sports league, the XFL, is an incredible experience. It's something that I have to remind myself about every day, the enormity of that. You have the moment in the announcement and you're like, oh my gosh, I am fortunate enough to make history by following something I was so passionate about. Now that's an amazing thing. But what happens the day after is also the enormity of understanding, okay, now you carry a legacy. You have a responsibility, not only a responsibility to what you want to achieve, but you have a responsibility to the people who are following you. My goals were extremely ambitious. They extremely are. They are very, very ambitious goals. My insecurity when I was young was extremely high. No matter how insecure I was, those goals never went away. So that created inside of me a relentlessness. And I say this to as many women execs and leaders, or any woman who's moving forward and wants to get success. We cannot be successful and be quiet about it. Women have great mental and emotional accountability. And sometimes, while that accountability is fantastic, it doesn't always need to be necessary to stop you from what you want to do. Jumping into the XFL is a massive leap forward. I have a lot of skill set, but I'm going to need a greater skill set to do something like the XFL. That means I have to acquire it. That means I'm going to be uncomfortable. I'm not going to worry about the fact that there's things I don't know, because I'm going to go out and learn them and still do a great job. It's kind of getting really comfortable with that whole mindset and giving myself some space to be really human through it.